All right, I guess we can get started. So, welcome everybody. Welcome to Tuesday Q&As. Right now, we don't have any specific theme, but I'm sure we'll feed into one here once we get going. Um, Again, if you're new here, if this is your first time, go ahead and hit that react button and hit the hand raise in order to get your question out, and then we'll go as they come in. Actually, real quick, can I call on you, Mark?
Howdy. Hello.
Hey, have you been seeing any, or did we fix all the camera images that you were seeing from last week on the new app?
That's a great question. Uh, I don't know off the top of my head,
Okay, that's all
but
good.
because unfortunately not every customer has pictures.
Right.
Um, but I haven't distinctly noticed it today, and I've done several pickup and deliveries, so maybe yes.
Yeah, yeah. I'm assuming that it's been fixed because you're still the only person to report it, but
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. And maybe it was something specific to me. Um, I think I did get forced to re-authenticate, so maybe it got fixed there.
Well, so we also just published, well, if people are interested, you can also, if you have iPhone, you can go ahead and search for the new delivery app on the Apple Store. But if you don't want to go through the whole process of transitioning everything over to the app, you can wait. I believe it's going to be another day or two, and then we're going to have a button in the old app that will automatically, if you click it, it will move everything over. So you don't have to go through and do an authentication code, find your station, do any of that. Make it as seamless as possible. But if you want to go through those steps, you can search it up on the App Store and download it today.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, here we go. We've got Daria.
Okay, am I unmuted?
Yep, we can hear you.
So we have a new route driver, and unfortunately, he kind of got a route that's, for lack of a better word, a shit show. So I've been trying my best to help organize this, and I know we had a meeting with you guys a little while back to also get some pointers on it as well, but I was doing my Google Maps and everything and pulling the report that you guys suggested. While doing that, I did that, got that organized, and then just out of random yesterday, I went back into the route manager to kind of see if just see where we were at. And I was finding people that weren't on that report that I pulled, but they're still on the route. But then when you look at them, they were never on the route. Does that make sense? Like their agent is saying Double Dime or one of our other stores, but they say they're on the route. And it was reversed on some other ones that are on that report, but haven't been on the route for years, since like 2018. So there's just no consistency. Does that make sense?
Okay, gotcha. And I believe you're with Bobby Pages, correct?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. And so you're specifically looking at probably where it says route requests, or no? Am I reading that wrong?
No, not route, just route manager, people that are in the route that have stops assigned to them and everything else, but they shouldn't.
Gotcha. So if you're running into Route Manager, then your route is um, non-optimized, and chances are you probably have it as fixed.
Yes, we do.
But right, so regardless, those people aren't really going to change. Like these are their stops. You have them set as, say, a will call, and their stop number is 130 or some type of number, right?
Yeah, which I get that, but what I'm saying is, how do I how do I organize this with people that are in the report that shouldn't be in the report, and then they're on the route manager when they shouldn't be on the route manager, and they're not cohesive, like they're not blending together.
Oh yeah, what was that report that you had mentioned?
The
name of it?
one that you guys said to use was the route customers plus address by agents. And so I even went in and created another one and filtered out like not active customers to try and make it better. Like, okay, they're not even supposed to be in our system, so we deactivated them. But there's still people in there that shouldn't be on the route that are on the route manager. And that I've
Okay,
gone and physically taken out, but yet they're still showing up.
okay, gotcha. And so what route specifically, or do you have an example that you could give me really quick?
Yeah, route 2 Monday, Thursday. And one of the customers was Leonard Overhalser.
Okay.
Hey, Daria, what number is that gentleman? Stop number. Do you recall?
Oh, I'm not sure.
You found him? What was his name again? Overhalls. Okay.
Which now when I looked when I looked today, he's not on there. Like he's finally off the route. So I don't know if it, but like I did this hours apart.
His couch has been revised. Somebody probably found it and changed his delivery preference.
Okay. Which it most likely says me, because I'm the one that's doing a lot of this, trying to clean it up. But it's just hard for me to clean it up when the reports aren't consistent with what the route manager is, I guess is where my biggest question is coming into play. Or even like the customer spending data report. There's people on there that haven't been on the route since 2018, for example. But they're still on that report because their agent is still saying route 2 Monday, Thursday, but they haven't been on the route again since 2018.
Okay, Daria, do you have a ticket open with us right now about this?
No, I just found this last night at 6 p.m. So I'm like, okay. And I knew this was coming up, so I figured I'd ask.
Yeah. So
there's
definitely a few things we could look at. I think it probably would take just a little too much time to dig in during the
for sure.
Q&A here, but yeah, if you could put in a ticket and mention the customer and the name of the report again,
okay.
We'll take a look and see what we can figure out there.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Okay, and for those of you who joined a little bit later and maybe new, to ask a question, again, has no theme base today, but to ask a question, go ahead and hit that react button down at the bottom and then click raise hand. And then in the order that they pop up, we'll call on you and then you can ask your question. All right, let's go to River.
Hi. I've noticed sometimes that the promotion reports under the financials tab, it'll like if I search for 1 month, it'll maybe have some items from a couple days before. I was wondering why that happens.
River, hi.
Hi.
That is it's a pretty simple answer. So that report filters based on promotion applied date. So it's possible to say detail an order on Monday and not put a promotion on it until say Tuesday or Wednesday. And then maybe let's say Tuesday was the first of the month. So if you look at the current month in that report, you would see that order, even though based on a certain way of looking at it, it seems like it should belong in the previous month. but it's based on the date that the promotion was put on the order rather than the date the order came in.
Okay. Thank you for explaining.
Sure. Yeah, and if it would be helpful, we can give you a variation of the report that is set up basically the same way, except instead it'll filter by, say, detailed date or something like that, whatever makes sense for you.
Yeah, is that something I can set up myself?
Yeah, if you're comfortable with the KPI config, then yeah. I have no idea how much you know about it though. But you could very easily just put in a quick support ticket and ask us, just say, hey, could you make a KPI that imitates the built-in promotions report, except is by detail date? That's real easy, and we can throw that together for you.
Thank you so much, Mike.
Sure, absolutely. All right, I think I see another hand. Jay? Was Jay next? Looks like it. I think he put his hand down. Jay Patel, did you have a question? Yeah, here, if you unmute.
right.
Hey,
Perfect. How are you guys? Like to know how do we take out old orders that were imported from Liberty that's still sitting in the system as a full batch? Is there a way or a faster trick to take out like a bunch of them together at the same time that I don't need anymore?
not really on your end, but I may be able to help with that. Are these, so do you know if these were inventory or balances or
I
something
think there
else?
were balances that were brought over in 2023, but I'm starting to dig into and learn more about Smart, but there's a lot of them just sitting there from 2023 or early 2024 that shows up when I just clear my slate and maybe flush everything out up to 2024 and keep only the 2025.
Okay, yeah. So I have a few tools that can potentially help with that, that I use for like the consulting work I do and whatnot. This probably would not really count as consulting work, so I can probably take care of this for you without any fee. But is your main goal to, is your concern that they're showing up in inventory or that they're showing up in AR?
I mean, it shows up on my first KPIs of, picked up, not paid orders,
Okay.
for example. But I'm going through the hit still conversions, soon with you guys. So just want to
Yeah.
clear the slate before it gets messy.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure you'll actually be. Yeah, I think we've been in touch about that already. Yeah. So. Yeah, I can definitely help you with that. It's possible that the simplest fix actually is to just change the way that report filters so that it ignores import orders, because they're
Okay.
probably not causing any problems in your system otherwise. But let's take a look at that
Yeah,
over
let's
the next
talk
few
about it
days.
when we're
Yeah,
have
just
our
make sure we're not
meeting.
overlooking anything. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you have any questions, go ahead and hit that react button and then hit that raise hand. We don't have any theme currently, just going over random things that people have. And as I mentioned before, at the beginning, if you weren't here, right now, if you are interested in downloading the new delivery app, it is available in the App Store. But if you don't want to go through all the verification process and everything, you can wait a couple more days and we'll send out an announcement to whenever you open up the new app, there'll be a button that says, I want to upgrade or something like that, something in that nature. I haven't seen the button yet. It's still being worked on, but it'll move all of your information over to the new app. And so you don't have to deal with the authentication code, any of your instance ID, any of that stuff. All right, I'm gonna go with Brian first and then Daria.
Hey Tyler, regarding the app, I know we pay per license. If we download the app, and I know we have to install it as a separate app from before, is it an additional pay and like is it considered an additional license to our current one?
No, so you will want to use the replacement device whenever it prompts you if you download it today. But like I said,
Got
if you want to wait a couple days for once that button is ready to move everything over, that would be your best bet. So you
Okay,
don't have any overlap. Um, yeah, but
got
it
it.
should just use the existing license that you have.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, not a problem.
I'd like to just add a little bit to that because that's a good question. And just for everyone who's here, I want to clarify a few terms that are related to that question. So first of all, a station is essentially a manifestation of a license with respect to your business relationship with Smart. So either you're on contract or you're not, but you have a certain number of licenses for stations. And a station is just a designation for a device like a computer or a phone or a tablet that gives it a name and an ID and lets you run the software on it. The software itself is what is being updated, not the station. So if I'm a delivery driver and my phone is assigned to the station delivery 1, then when we upgrade to the new delivery app, I can still use the station delivery 1. I don't even have to change it. I don't have to add any new stations to my system, and my monthly bill does not have to change at all. So just wanted to clarify that for everyone. It's just an upgrade to the software that will run on your existing stations. You have some hands up. Brian, did you have another? Oh, I see that was a thumbs up. Cool. All right. Who's got their hand up? Daria.
So if I wanted to download it and just test it out before I give it to my drivers without interfering with a current route, is that possible? Even if I have to pay for it?
Yeah, it's 100% possible if you're willing to pay for an extra station. And I'm not sure. I think Tyler knows a little bit more about the options we have available here. Tyler, could you jump in on that?
Yeah, so as long as if you wanted to test it out, technically you wouldn't really be doing any stops or you wouldn't be changing anything. So you really wouldn't have to worry about flagging our automated billing system for usage, right? You would just be going in there, using it. You could set it up as a new station and it will count on your tracker as, oh, you did start a new station. But as long as you don't use anything, as in pick up or deliver anything, or I don't believe it tracks if you load the van, but again, you're just going to be looking at stuff. So for instance, like Mark uses it and he views all of his routes based off of one station, and it doesn't mess with any of his route drivers that are currently on it, but he can see everything that's going on with their manifest and the map and what it looks like.
Okay, so okay, got it. Cool.
I hope that answers your question, but if you do want to, I urge everybody to go ahead, take a look and look around and see what's going on with it.
Yeah, I want to understand it before I hand it off to somebody. I'm like, okay, have fun.
And I will say it is almost more intuitive than our current app.
Yeah,
I
it
want to
seems
say
like
that, but I've been
pretty
looking
quick.
at it. Yeah, I want to say that, but I've been looking at it for probably 3 or 4 months now, so
Yeah,
it comes secondhand for me.
cool. Thank you.
Yeah, not a problem. All right, perfect. Looks like we've got Mark.
Thanks, Tyler. This is an unrelated question for the app, but I was trying to make a promotion where I can impact the unit price using a coupon instead of having to manually change the unit price. I don't know if that's an option because right now the way I tried, it will set the entire order to that price or the entire item to that price rather than taking into account the units that have been entered or like the piece count. So if there's 10 pieces, instead of doing 3 times 10, it'll just do 3. And what I want it to be is 3 times 10. Does that make sense?
I think so. I think you lost me at the 3 times 10 part,
So,
but
so like if I just do a shirt and the shirt normally costs $3.25, but I want to apply a promotion and this customer has 10 shirts, instead of me manually having to change the price of the shirt to $3, and instead of me marking in 10 separate shirts, I'll just do like piece count 10 for the shirt. Does that make sense? And if I don't change the price, just like automatically, it will do the 325 times the 10 pieces. But if I want to apply a promotion to that, making it instead of $3.25, a $3 shirt.
And so I'm assuming you were attempting to do it with fixed price promotion, right?
Yes, that's correct.
And then it changed it. So if you set it to $3 fixed price and you
It doesn't
it
matter
set
how
the
much
whole
I put.
order to
Exactly.
$3.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're still working on getting that fixed because that should not be happening to that extent. But I think Mike's got something.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if there's like a setting on the promotion where I can just impact the per unit price. Like
So
yeah.
Mark, the part of the issue here is that there's a difference between items and pieces. When you just add a single item and you don't change anything about it, you have one item and one piece on your order.
Yeah.
If you open that item up and you change that piece count or tag count, or in some people's systems for certain items, it's unit, but
Right.
it's the same field in all cases. When you change that, you're telling Smart that there's one item, which is sort of like the archetype, but that you have multiple copies of it.
Right.
And just for a few different sort of esoteric reasons that may not apply for Smart anymore. When we initially set up the promotions, they look at items rather than pieces in almost every case.
Got it.
So the way, and I understand what you're saying, where you don't want to detail 10 separate shirts. The way you get away from this, especially if it's not terribly important that you have a lot of the extra detailing information like brand, color, and so forth, is use quick detailing. If you get the most common items set up in your quick detailing menu, and we make sure that's turned on, I'm not sure if it's on in your system, then you see a list of your common items, and you can just put the number, however many of that item you have. And then when you create the order, this is in the new order window, and then when you create the order, it automatically adds all 10 of them. So they're separate items, one piece per item. So the promotion will work correctly, but you did not have to individually add all 10 of them. You just typed 10 and then create order, and it did the rest for you. So I think that'll save you the time on that. And then it's a workaround. It gets you around the issue with the piece count problem on promotions.
Got you. I think that makes sense. Then that promotion will apply to each item individually. Got it. Yeah. Thank you.
As long as it's configured correctly otherwise. So if you still get weird outcomes, then we might want to look at the promotion, but assuming it's set up correctly, then yeah, that'll do it.
Copy. Thank you.
All right.
I'll give it a shot.
All right, we got Brian.
Hey, Tyler, just real quick, I know we do this every Tuesdays. I have been seeing notes that you host at office hours. Can you give me like a breakdown as to what that is or what to expect from it?
Yeah, that's a great question, actually. So I started doing an open session where I basically am available in Zoom for an hour twice a day so we can get our East Coast and West Coast or anybody else. And essentially, it's any questions that you have. I'm open to sitting there waiting. And really the thing that we want to get to is, say you reach out to support and you can't get anybody, but you do have a question, and it is during my time frame. You can go ahead and just go to the announcements, open it up, and may find an easier way to find it. So that people can just click and join and then ask a question and know that I'm there. And if it's something that needs to go further in depth, we'll see if I have time to do it all, or I can get somebody to give you a call back as soon as they're available. So it's really for multiple reasons, but yeah, I definitely urge people to join if you do have problems or issues and you just need to get it worked out, have somebody look at it, get eyes on something. It looks like we've got a message in the chat. Will Smart have a user conference or meetup at the Clean Show? I'd like to meet fellow users and learn better practices. I know that
I can answer that. We're pulling together a schedule. The first thing that we are planning to launch is a reception, like a kickoff reception on the Friday night. You're saying you want to learn about best practices. That is still TBD where and when we could host something like that. But we're definitely gonna have a gathering. And then stay tuned. We'll probably be hosting a couple of other things throughout the show itself. We're just still pulling that together. So look, check your email because we're going to be sending save the dates and our schedule, and we'll let you know when our website is up with that kind of information as well, so you can keep checking.
All right, Brian.
I guess just a few things. I know last week we talked about the SMS opt-in, whether we accepted it. Mike created a report and sent it to me. That worked perfectly, so I just appreciate that. And the other one, I know we talked about a few weeks ago. I tried again about changing the default map to the app. It might be a moot point now just because we're getting a new one, but I tried the settings within the phone itself and I couldn't find them. So I don't know if I was missing it or not. Like I said, it doesn't matter now, but just wanted to give you guys that feedback for that.
What was the what setting were you looking for?
The default map, because right now when I select an address, it asks me whether I want to use Waze or Apple Maps.
Oh, that. Okay,
And
gotcha.
and I know there was a few discussions about it, whether you have to install it or there's a setting within like the app iOS settings or whatever. I couldn't find it in iOS settings. So, but again, not a huge deal because we're going to be getting the new app anyway.
Right, understandable. Okay.
Yep.
And just to reiterate, the current app is not going away. It's just so you'll still be able to use both. I'm sure a couple of people have asked that last week, but yeah, both apps will still be able to be used, and then it just depends on if you have the same station or not. If you want to run two different stations, you're open to do so. But hope that answers your question too.
Yep. Yeah. No. Yep. We're good. Thank you.
Perfect. And then Mark, are you all good? You raised your hand there for a second. Okay, he's all good. All right. We've got Mike.
Hello.
Hey, Mike.
Hey. I have a question on gift cards and well, gift cards and then reward cards. I believe we're allowed to have both. So one will take money for it, being the gift card, and then the reward card is something that we would give out to charity and things like that. That is possible, right?
So are you using rewards points or no? You're just talking about you're giving them just a credit for.
Just a credit.
Oh,
I'll give them a card at the function to auction off or whatever they're going to do with it.
oh, gotcha. Yeah, you could use both. Yeah.
Okay. And I know in our previous software, it would double count the gift card. So whenever the gift card is sold and we take money for it, $50, it would apply to income. Then when the customer or whoever they gave it to came in and used it each time, that it would also go into income. Now, is that
Hey, Mark.
seen that in Smart?
Hey, Mike. So great question. And your answer, the answer is that Smart handles it better than your old software, but I want to explain where you'll see what.
Okay.
The two relevant reports here are revenue and paid sales. Paid sales is the sum of the total price of all orders that have a paid date during the time frame selected. It's a very specific definition, but that's exactly what it is. Revenue is the sum of all real money payments received during the time frame selected for the report. So if I, as a customer, buy a gift card and pay for it with cash or a check or a credit card, that's revenue. And I believe it'll also count as a paid sale. But crucially, it's revenue. Now, when I use that gift card, that's not a real money payment. It will not be counted in your revenue because of exactly what you just pointed out. It's already funded. I've already given you the money, or whoever purchased the card already gave you the money for it. So you've already recognized the income. So now it's as though we have like some wild card store credits floating around attached to this plastic card, or even really it's just attached to a barcode. And whoever happens to have that barcode can use it to make a payment.
Okay. What, one other question, do we have to have a separate card or can we just do a $0 amount on when we, give it out?
I'm not sure I followed exactly what you're asking there.
Well, the difference
elaborate a
from
little?
someone buying the gift card and versus someone, or
Like if you want to
giving
donate it.
someone.
Do you mean the difference between selling it and donating it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So in Smart, I would handle those essentially the same way. The process for funding the card or activating it is exactly the same. And what I recommend for folks who want to donate gift cards is set up a dummy account. If I remember correctly, Smart does not let you pay for gift cards with store credits because that would be the simplest shortcut. So I think we need to give you a promotion. I can make a promotion that actually makes gift cards free. And then you put it on that account, and then you can activate the gift cards from that account and then donate them to whoever you want.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah,
thank
so
you.
that's not too bad to set up. So yeah, if you want us to set that up, just contact support, and you can ask for me or just ask for somebody to make a promotion that makes gift cards free.
Okay, thank you.
All right, you're welcome. What's up?
You said on the promotion, so if we have the, I don't know what you guys call it, the reward points.
Mhm.
Can they use that to buy a gift certificate, and or can we issue a gift certificate instead of a credit for that amount?
So to answer the first question, no, because Smart doesn't allow gift cards to be paid for with store credits. And when you redeem rewards, the reward becomes store credits. So that would be the payment method. So it won't actually work. It'll reject the payment. And could you ask the second part of that question again? I think it's a little less straightforward.
Let me take what.
You mentioned gift certificates.
Oh, can we put their rewards that they earn as a credit? Can we put that on a gift card to give to them? And that way it won't be automatically assigned. They're gonna have to bring the card in and use it.
No, but if you're looking to add a little bit of friction to that, we could turn off automatic redemption, which would force the customer to log into their account and click a button in order to redeem the reward. Sounds like that's kind of, you want to add a little more friction to that process, and that would be one way to do it.
And
We
make
couldn't
them
quite
aware,
automate what you're talking about, though.
make them aware of what they're getting in a sense versus just automatically applying it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's real simple. It's in the reward settings in your system settings. And it's just a checkbox called redeem automatically.
Okay. Thank you.
Cool. Yep. You're welcome. All right. I'm going to put Tyler back on the spot. It's all yours, Tyler.
All right, awesome. Looks like we've got Jorge. Unless if it's George, I'm sorry.
Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay. No, that's fine. George is fine.
Okay.
I'm asking a question because Mike was going to start calling on people. So I'm like, well, yeah, I have a question. And forgive me if this was already featured. I'm just catching on to the meeting. But in the new delivery app, are we able to take pictures of the actual delivery now? And how does it live in the app? Will it stay with that action or does it delete itself later?
Yeah, that's a great question. So it's kind of a two-part answer here. So if you want those pictures to go out to your customer, as in like what Amazon does or UPS, whenever they take a picture like, oh, here's your delivery, it's at your front door, or whatever door you're delivering it to. you can take a picture of it and it will, yes, stay in the app, but it will also show in the customer's stop, if that makes sense. So under route history, whenever you click on the stop, it'll show there. And if you are running with delivery completion messages, they will also be texted to the customer at the same time. Let me unmute you.
I know I'm in the production and it's loud.
All
Yeah,
good.
I like that. Both options. And that's coming with the new platform, the update, right?
Right. Yep. With the new app. Yep.
I gotta test that myself. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
And
can.
is that defaulted in there? Or do I gotta go in there and set it up? I guess I'll be figuring this out as I go. Once I download it, play with it, and see what it can do. Right.
Yeah. Yep. So it actually is whenever you are completing the stop, you'll hit complete and then it'll be a little add photo button. You can click the add photo and take a picture right then and there.
I like that, and I like that. I like that it's texted instantly. It's just like Amazon, right? Yeah, we send it to them, but like, how long will it live there? For a couple of weeks, when somebody says, "Hey, you never delivered my stuff," and we actually have proof of the delivery, how long or where would it live? Is that storage? That's going to be storage somewhere, right?
Yeah. So from what I've noticed is that it probably will live on there for about 4 months. I want to say, I could be wrong. It could be a certain amount of stops depending on how frequent they are. Um,
Per
but
customer or
all,
in general per system?
So just for the customer, for that
Okay.
customer. Yep.
Okay.
So, but the other thing is that we also have the ability to go back in time on the actual route manifest. So if you have a customer who's saying, "Hey, you delivered something back in January to me, but I don't have it," or you claimed that you did, you can go back to your actual delivery manifest and you can email them a copy of where and when that happened. But you have to have, I believe it's delivery summary checked under that person's account, which is a customer specific thing.
So I have to toggle that on for customers?
Yeah, because so most of the time it's used for master stop delivery. Whenever they're delivering things in bulk, the actual company wants to have a summary of what was delivered each day or however many days that you're going there. So that's why it's a per account basis.
Got it. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you.
Oh, and I was going to tell you,
Sure.
it's okay. So you can also go and download it right now if you wish on Apple or on iOS platform. If you go to the App Store, you can go ahead and search up SMRT delivery, and it'll be a blue app. But again, you're going to have to go through. You're going to have to go through all of the sign-on process, as in what's your instance name, what station it is, auth code, all of that information. But if you wait a couple more days, we're going to be releasing a button, which you may or may not have heard it if you were in here earlier. That'll automatically transition all that stuff over if you want to.
Yeah, I'll just wait. And I'm an Android user. You guys, so it's being on Apple. You guys used to kind of stay away from Apple, but now it's Apple first, then Android.
Actually, I think Android had it available to them before Apple. Apple has a more rigorous process as to getting the app on their platform. So I believe that Android is already up and running.
Wait, so this is an app, not an online. Is this an app, an actual app, not an online portal, like what our delivery module is, right?
Right. Yep. It is an actual app.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
So
Yeah,
you'll probably
I'll
go to the Google Play
yeah.
Store.
Okay. And that one's ready to go then. The
Yeah, I
Android
believe.
one.
Yeah, I believe it is.
Okay. If not, I can wait. Look forward to all the features there.
Right. We're hoping everything will be up and running this week.
Okay. Thank you, Tyler.
Yeah, not a problem. Thanks. All right, we've got Mark.
Hello again. So, what you just said sounds like a massive update. Because I didn't know that that was the feature. So I'm going to repeat it and confirm if I'm wrong here. We can take a picture before the driver selects completed stop, and that image will be texted to the customer.
Right. But so it's actually when you hit complete, it'll pop up that side panel. It'll drop off, I
Yeah,
believe, from the bottom. And then
right.
there's the delivery notes, and then right below it is like a picture icon. We can take a picture of it,
Okay.
and then it'll save it there. But to text it to them, you just have to make sure that you take or that you have delivery completion messages enabled.
And that delivery completion message is the ones, I mean, I don't know how it's set up for everybody else, but just we always have a message in the contact log saying, so and so driver just completed your delivery or
Exactly.
completed your pickup.
Yep.
So that image is not something that they have to go into their personal account link to see. They will see it as a text message from our Twilio number.
Right. Yep. It should pop up as in the text prompt.
Okay. And uh does that mean that we'll be able to send photos via text soon?
I don't believe so,
Okay.
because my question would be, how would you do it?
Right. Like we would need something on our desktop app to
Right.
click load photo or attach photo,
Yeah.
but which would be amazing.
Yeah,
Highly
we're trying to get.
necessary. But in terms of the other question, I think it was Jorge was asking, or sorry, whoever was just speaking,
Yep.
like the lifetime of that photo. You said it shows on the manifest side, and I think we already see that on our manifest, like on an instance.
Yep.
But if it's texted to them, do we also see it in the contact log with the customer?
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, it should be. Should be.
Okay,
I would need to
and
verify that though.
copy.
I'll try and
Because it
think
would
of an
be good. It
instance.
would be good just for like dispatch side versus driver side, because they don't. A customer will usually call and it comes to us here at the plant, and so we would do the communication of like, oh, it looks like they delivered it behind the bush over there.
Right. Right.
And whereas the driver doesn't really have that level of communication with the customer other than actually taking the photo. So but I know you said it would be in the manifest, but in that contact log, it keeps it presumably forever,
Right. Yep.
right?
Exactly.
Okay. I
That
think
should work. Yeah.
cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try that because I didn't know that was the thing. We would just take pictures for the delivery, but it should send it to them.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's a
And so
huge change.
yeah, so that way you don't have to keep it in the notes, which a lot of people are doing. They're taking individual pictures, putting it in the customer notes field, and
Exactly.
just kind of clogging up everything and making it look real bad. So
Right, right.
this is the
Okay.
fix for it.
Awesome.
Perfect. All right, looks like we've got Mike.
Okay, I've got two questions. When he was talking about taking the pictures, it reminded me, what is the easiest way for our front counter girls to take a picture of a garment, whether it's to prove that there's damage to it, or even to be able to send it to the customer through the system and get approval or make them aware? Is there like a cloud thing that we could text it to that it would show up in that customer, or?
So I wish I could give you a easy solution. There isn't an easy solution for this specific instance that you're mentioning, because just like Mark was kind of asking, like how can we send pictures to our customers through the POS? There's not a good way to do it. You'd have to um, take a picture of it, and depending on I know certain companies they take each side, so the front, back, sides of all angles of the garment, and keep that in the notes for the items or in the orders, and then they can keep track that way. And then if they have to send it out to somebody, they will have a different email, or they'll have some other form of method to send that picture. And really, the only way that you can do it is taking a screenshot or taking your phone and taking a picture of it. But yeah, right now we just don't have an easy way to do that other than those two methods.
Okay, and one other thing that we're doing is once we get done for the day with metal progetti, you know, if a barcode, let's just say it's missing or wasn't put on, whatever, it won't go through metal progetti. We're taking pictures and I come download it to my lap or my computer here, and then we'll text it out with a smart communication, you know, email. But what doesn't, is there any way to have like a space within there where we could just put those pictures and then they can go look at them each day and see if what they're missing is
So what pictures are you taking and who are you sending them to?
our store managers or even store personnel.
Oh, okay. So you're taking a picture of a garment that was still on the MP or did never get on the MP?
Never went on it, and we don't know what store it would belong to because it doesn't have a barcode, for instance.
Oh, gotcha.
Right now, like I said, I'm just downloading my computer and then send them through email, but it's just like, you know, they're at the store and they're going ding, ding, ding. All of them are coming through.
Right. Yeah, that is difficult because like you said, you don't have a barcode, so it's not like you can yeah, that's a tough one. I don't have a good solution for that.
Okay.
Not at the moment. Yeah. I think right now the method that you're doing is the best way to do it.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Yep. We've got one more. All right, we've got one more. We'll do Enrique and then should be good.
Hey, this is regarding kind of, you know, taking photos and sending them to customers. I know you said, and this might be kind of a far stretch, but is Smart at all ever planning on having like video through the portal? Meaning, like, is there a way where we could record a video and then send it through a customer in there? Is Smart planning that at all whatsoever? If you guys are not, I totally get it, just because it's, you know, more data, more stuff to kind of store in. But is that something that you guys thinking at all? Just because it would be very, very handy. The way we do it is when we get a wedding gown or something, we'll take a full on video, and then if something happens, we'll send it to the customer through one of our personal phone numbers, and then they can take a look at it. But it would be very ideal to have that all through the portal in Smart. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah, I think so. So you're just doing it for, say, high priced items or something like that, high value.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, so there isn't a way that we have currently to send even video, considering we're still trying to figure out how to send the best practice way to send a photo.
Right.
But
Right.
that's another thing to bring up too, is we're sending videos for specific items or high value items. But yeah, right now we don't have any plans of that.
Okay, but it's just something I just had in mind, just because it comes very handy when you finish the product, right, and then you want to kind of send it to the customer to have them look at it before we just thinking of wedding gowns and before we box it up or something like that. You know, they get that experience. They're like, oh wow, it looks really nice. You know, compared to just kind of getting a box at the end.
Right, yeah. No, that is a good idea. I like that idea.
That was it.
Okay, awesome. All right, and we'll go ahead and wrap it up here. As we mentioned earlier, I am doing a live kind of not really a Q&A session, but if you do have questions and you need somebody to check out something right then and there, or you just had an idea floating around in your head, something, I'm there at 10 a.m. to 11 on Eastern Standard Time, and then 3 to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time still. And I'll be doing that every day except for today, obviously, because we just did this one, so I'm not going to roll into that next one. So Tuesdays are a bit different, but all the other days, those are my timelines as of right now. All right. So we're going to go ahead and post a poll and go ahead and get out of here. Thanks, guys.